This is where I run down physical media by the numbers. First, we take a look at the top 20 selling 4K Ultra HD disc of a previous week. I give you my thoughts and recommendations on every single title there. And then, of course, we get into the market share breakdown where we look at all your favorite disc formats, DVDs, Blu-rays, 4K, see how well they're selling in comparison to one another. And then we talk about the future of physical media, predict how we think sales are doing overall, and just have a great day talking the movies. But first, if you love collecting physical media just like me and being a part of this amazing league of mega film fans, go ahead and mega smash that like and subscribe. That way you stay entertained and up to date on all the latest physical media topics. And leave in the comments below, what physical media have you been picking up? So starting off with the top 20 selling 4K Ultra HD discs, and of course at the bottom we got Terminator 2 Judgment Day. People are taking a chance on this 4K once again with getting the new James Cameron 4Ks. They're going back to this one because actually the transfers are pretty comparable. So I like how it's a new squeaky clean penny. Some people don't like that style. They want the film grain, but I guess somebody likes it because apparently people are buying it now. Next up, we got Three from Hell, Lionsgate Steelbook. People finding that in the $5 bins at Walmart. I wasn't lucky enough to come across that one, and it would have been a blind buy to me anyway. And not a massive Rob Zombie fan, at least for movies anyway. Music's great. Next up, we got Dread, a really cool 4K Lionsgate Steelbook. I finally gave in and bought this one myself to add it to the collection. I love the comic book style of it all, the bloody, gory action. It's just super entertaining to me. Next up, we got Alien from 20th Century. Yes, the first one. I bet you people are picking up the first one to go along with the Aliens 4K they recently picked up just to have those together on the shelf. It makes sense. Next up, we got Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard from Lionsgate. This was another steelbook people found in the $5 bins at Walmart. And this is a fun action comedy, so I would have picked it up too if I found it for cheap. Next up, we got Godzilla 2014 from Warner. This got a pretty good discount. I probably should have picked it up, added to my Kaiju Monster collection, but maybe in the future I will. Next up, we have Major League from Paramount, which is a classic sports comedy. I've heard great things about this one. It's a really cool 4K slipcover and steelbook. Don't know which one I would go with, but maybe in the future I will pick it up. Next up, we got the Avengers from Disney and Marvel, and I really love this movie. It's one of the best MCU movies of all time, in my opinion, but I already actually have a 4K steelbook, so I don't need this cool Mondo-looking one, but if I didn't have it already, I would have totally picked it up just for the design. Next up, we got Godzilla vs. Kong from Warner, which is probably my favorite out of the Kaiju Monster Universe movies in this series because I just love Kong and Godzilla showing down, just fighting, boxing match style. Oh, so fun, so entertaining, and a really good quality 4K disc. Next up, we got Wonka from Warner, one of my favorite musicals of the past couple years, just so whimsical and fun. Timothy Chalamet does a great job in that movie. Highly recommend. Next up, we got The Hunger Games, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes from Lionsgate. I saw this one in theaters. I like the first 2/3 of the movie, but I'm going to wait until this comes out in like a Hunger Games collection, like a 4K box set with all of them, because I actually don't own any of them in the series, and I'm going to wait for the box set to come out, get discounted on the Prime Day deal, and have a great time. Next, we got Guardians of the Galaxy, Disney and Marvel, of course, the Mondo Steelbook line. And this one looks so cool. I had to pick it up myself, and I actually didn't have this one in the collection. So that's why I was happy to pick it up finally, because it actually is one of my favorite MCU movies as well. Next up, we got Dune Part 1 from Warner. This movie is selling like hotcakes because Dune Part 2 is doing so well at the box office. People are pre-ordering Dune Part 2 on physical, so people are going back and picking up Dune Part 1. Makes total sense. Next up, we got Planet Earth 3 from BB Studios, and I haven't ever checked out one of these nature documentaries on a 4K Ultra HD disc. I've heard they look really, really good, though. They're super sharp, so maybe in the future I'll check it out, but don't need it right away. Next up, we got True Lies from 20th Century. Probably my favorite out of the James Cameron new 4K titles. It just looks so clean. And you got Jamie Lee Curtis and Arnold in there. Action comedy. It's a fun time. Next up after that, we got Aliens from 20th Century. I really liked my rewatch of this one, and I thought the 4K looked pretty good too. After that, we got Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom from Warner. And wow, this is just dumb action kind of thrown together. So if you're looking for background noise while you're doing something else, go for this movie. But it's just lacking something the first one had, the heart and soul, and just not a great villain this time around, unfortunately. Could have been a lot better. Next up, we have The Abyss from 20th Century, which I think is a beautiful looking 4K with all the environmental design and alien creature designs in there. I enjoyed my watch of that one too. Next up, we got Oppenheimer from Universal. Of course, Oppenheimer is going to be on this list for like probably another year, which is okay. People loved Oppenheimer, did great award recognition wise, box office wise. Some people just love it for some reason. I don't totally get it, but hey, why not? Maybe there's something to the 4K. And then number one, we have a new title here, finally at the number one spot. Got King Kong 1976 from Paramount, a new steelbook, which actually is a pretty cool looking design. I kind of like the vibe of it. But I already actually have this movie on Blu-ray from Scream Factory, so I don't need a double dip just to get the 4K. But I actually like this King Kong movie. I think it's kind of fun, a person being in the King Kong costume, so it has a cheesy factor to it that I just really enjoy. But I'm a sucker for the King Kong story. Can't really go wrong with it. It's like the Beauty and the Beast, right? So really like that one. But there we go. Those were the top 20 selling 4K Ultra HD disc of that week. But now let's get into the market share breakdown. So looking at these home video charts, we got 4Ks that just dropped a little bit, like a percent or so, but it makes sense because there wasn't a lot of hot new 4K titles. We can't just rely on King Kong out there. We need other 4K movies to come out, but it's been kind of slow for these last couple weeks for some reason or another. Now, Blu-rays got up a good little bit of a chunk, so that's cool. But hey, you know what? I still want it to be at least 30%, but we'll get there eventually when people discover HD, of course. But yeah, DVD is still above 60%, still king of the market share. That's never going to be touched for many, many years until probably something happens where they stop selling DVDs and just sell Blu-rays and 4Ks, which isn't going to happen because we will get into our analysis now of the future of physical media and how sales numbers look with all these discs overall. DVDs, like we said, are dominating. We see them all at these stores, Targets, Walmarts. You mostly find everything at the DVD level. Now you'll find some Blu-rays here and there. You'll find maybe a 4K or two, but there's just so much DVDs. Like all the TV collections are DVDs. It's just all these directed DVD, horror movies and action movies and stuff you never even heard of goes to DVD. Those don't go to 4K. Those don't often go to Blu-ray. They go to DVD. So people are picking up these DVDs, especially because they see the cheaper price tag, convenient option, and they just go for it. So it makes sense why DVDs are still dominating, and they're probably going to dominate for a long time. Now, to see these 4K numbers go up in the future, what has to happen? Well, we need to get some hot titles on 4K. We need the collector's market to really drive the 4K and Blu-ray numbers, but we need titles being released to collect them, right? We had that wave of James Cameron 4Ks come in, and that was pretty popular. That boosted some numbers for a while. Like Oppenheimer was in there, and all those great 4K titles. But now we're kind of in this limbo period where there's just not too much coming out to 4K to really just catch everybody that's a collector that we need all of these 4K. There's just not enough out there, unfortunately. But I think in the summer, I'll pick up again. There's announcements from boutique labels of some great stuff coming out. I know studios are going to be trying to pack a punch with some of their 4Ks. I'm sure we'll get some 4K discount days in there with our Prime Day deal, Criterion. We're going to have that sale with the 4Ks and all those other boutique label sales. So I think 4Ks will have a little bit of a bump, maybe up to 15. But those are just my thoughts and opinions right now on how physical media is doing. You guys will have to let me know in the comments below. First, what do you think of the top 20 selling 4K Ultra HD disc? Any surprises there? What do you think of the market share breakdown? Were you surprised on what DVDs were doing in comparison to 4Ks and Blu-rays again? And then also, how do you think physical media is doing overall? Do you think we're going to see increases in the summer months, or do you think it's going to decline even more? Let's have those fun movie discussions down below. Of course, if you haven't already, go ahead and mega smash that like and subscribe. That way you stay entertained and up to date on all future physical media numbers. And of course, you love this topic. Go ahead and mega smash the next video right now. And thank you so much, my Mega membership supporters. If you love talking and collecting movies, consider joining the Mega League of Film Fans through memberships to support content creation while gaining access to perks like shoutouts, exclusive videos, and future topic choices.